Welcome to Fairway Nation, where we sit down with some of the coolest mortgage advisors and real estate pros to talk all things home buying, investing, and what it really takes to make it in this crazy market. Whether you're looking to buy your first home, level up your investments, or just want some insider tips, you're in the right place. We've got stories, advice, and maybe a few laughs along the way. So, let's dive in. Okay.
I don't need to move.
You don't need to move. Of course you have to move. You just bought a house. Of course you have to move. That's the whole point. we were just talking puppies and dogs and stuff like that. That's really exciting. You have a puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
What do
have
you
a
got?
golden doodle.
A golden doodle.
Yes.
I love that. It's going to fit in perfect in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool. So I'm Michael. As you guys know, we are here at Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. We've got some special guests. Roberto Durand, you might have seen him on the videos before. But we've got to introduce not a new homeowner, but you've got a new home. So
Yeah.
you are a homeowner. So why don't you do an introduction? Can you tell us a little bit about your background and what you do for a living so we can all get on even footing?
Sure. My name is Helen Arias. I'm a musician, but since I came to the United States, we started a construction business, my husband and I. And we've been in the construction business for a couple of years, since 2005. And the name of the company, it's Arias Remodeling. A lot of people know the company. And nothing. I've been in the business. I really like it. I help them. I do everything that's related to the office, contracts,
That's really
estimates.
exciting. That's exciting. It is. You said back to 2005, so you were back at like the housing crash time and
Yes.
McMansions. That was a big word. Remember
Yeah.
McMansions? That was a hot word a long time ago. So that's exciting. So you're in the construction business. So we're in the real estate wheelhouse, right?
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Explain to me a little bit about the obstacles that you had here. You had a home, you're getting a home. Paint that picture for us.
Well, I wanted the whole package. It's very hard because I wanted to pay off my house. I wanted to move out of Miami in a nice neighborhood with a good price. It was hard. The interest right now, it was a little difficult, but thanks to Robert and his team, we did it. He did it.
Exactly. It's always a team effort. I think that's one of the most important things to keep driving home as we do videos like this is it is a team effort. It does take multiple people to cross the finish line. Many people who are buying a home for the first time, it's a huge investment. For people who may own a home and have a family, right? That's an investment in your family and changes
Yes,
and things that are
absolutely.
happening. So Roberto, to speak to those obstacles, all right? There's a few check boxes there. How did you work through that in Miami?
Yeah, so when I initially met Helen, we were looking for an investment property in Pompano Beach, Deerfield area. Something small just to get her feet wet, to get her into the investor side of things versus just owning. But we ran into some challenges with the HOA, which most people are running into challenges right now with HOAs.
What does HOA stand for?
It's the Homeowners Association.
Homeowners Association.
Right, so that includes your taxes, care and maintenance for the property, insurance for the property. And if you do live in South Florida, you now know that these prices have just been skyrocketing because of the cost of, or the lack of, I should say, insurance companies and the rising taxes in South Florida. So another challenge with the HOA was that they didn't have enough reserves, right? Which is a big problem to have. So you need to come up with a lot more money. And during that time, as most people do, it's just, you want to show a lot of taxes to buy the property, but then you also want to expense a lot of your income so you're not paying Uncle Sam so much money at the same time.
Of course. We have that conversation all the time. It's important. People don't talk about money enough.
No.
People don't talk about investment enough. Things like this.
Sure.
We have to be realistic in our approach, right? Sometimes when we're uneducated, we go into something and go, oh my God, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
But when you know it, it's a more realistic, more comfortable conversation. I use the analogy all the time about the Lamborghini dealership. Like if I walked into the Lamborghini dealership today, and I'm like, give me that $500,000 Lamborghini. How am I going to feel when they look at me and go, well, all right, that's X amount down, that's this much. That's a tough pill for me to swallow. And then I have to continue to go till I get to what's good for me or what's comfortable for me. I don't think the home buying process, or even if you're trading homes or trading your mortgage or doing something else, investing, I don't think it's really any different. You really have to be really real about your approach.
Exactly. Yes.
Sure. And it can get really discouraging, and it can put you down a lot. But, as I say, great things never come easy, right? So
yeah. And you're pretty good helping clients, and I want to take the time to thank you again.
Well, I appreciate it.
Because you're being great. Robert is not the type of realtor that wants to sell only. Of course, he wants to sell, but he wants to help people. And if I'm looking at the wrong property, he's going to tell me, Helen, no, that it's not good for you. Okay, so I really like that. I really trust him, and I highly recommend this guy.
Thank you.
Not because he's here. He helped me a lot with all this process.
I love that. I think it's important to stress that is genuine. We're not twisting her arm. Both of her arms are on the table. We're not twisting them right now.
Not at all.
So we're just sharing experience, and
that's
just
very important.
we're getting real. We're getting real, right? So that's awesome. That's authentic. And sometimes the best deal is the one you don't do, the one you walk away from, and you get to a better position. Yeah. So let's talk about that for a few minutes. Let's talk about some of the challenges that came. So you talked about the obstacles, looking for the right place, right? Then you got the place that you want, you have it in mind, right? The place that you have in mind, or the place that you'd like to get. What are the challenges now to get into this home?
I signed a contract for another property.
Oh. But you have an expert. Exactly. Roberto, what did you do? So tell me what happened.
I signed a contract, said, you know what, I like this property.
Okay, and Roberto, what did you do?
Oh, let me look.
Yeah, so she liked the property. I didn't like it very much, and I let her know. We ended up moving forward. We went through inspections, and then something came up in the inspection, and it was gonna be quite a bit of money to get it up to par to what we find as standard. And I told him, listen, this is just walk away. The inspection period's almost up. Let's just back out. Let's move on to something else. And, lo and behold, we did find something else for her that kind of suited her needs, and the location was a good location. And I think she was just, you were very adamant about getting something right away, but sometimes that can just lead to an impulsive decision, which that's what I'm there for. It's I'm your, I'm your Jiminy Cricket, right?
I love that.
I'm your conscious, right? So it's and sometimes people don't want to hear that. Some people are just no, I'm not going to listen to you. But she listened to everything that I had to say, and everything worked out in the end.
Yep, that's fantastic, and that's applause to you, because you come from the construction industry, right? You've got the husband. In some cases, you bring your dad to the inspection, and your dad's doing all this. So sometimes you feel like you may not want to take the advice, or may not want to listen. But I think the most shrewd investors, or the most savvy buyers, are the ones that take everything into consideration.
Yeah, you have to consider a lot of things.
Yeah.
The place you're buying, if you're able to rent it, in the future, because I'm not going to live there forever. The area, I have kids, so schools around. It was a lot of things to consider, and he helped me. I was like, I want the house. I really like it. And he was like, Helen, let me see, let me look, let me call my friend, he did. That's what I was telling you.
So let's talk about. I like that. Let's keep going in that direction. Let's talk about the buying experience overall. So we talked a little bit about the obstacle. We're looking for the place. A little bit of the challenge. We found the place. Now let's talk about the experience. We've got to cross the finish line, right? Now it's you're starting a race. Now you're in the race, right? Yeah. Let's talk about that. What was that like?
Well, right now, getting the loan, the interest. I got into the first loan. It was not good. Like I said, I wanted to pay off one of the properties that I have. Getting a good loan, a good interest. So it was a process. I even cried. One day I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do it. But like, we did it. At the end,
Yeah.
it was tough. It was a process. I helped a lot too. I was like, send me this, send me that. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the office. I'll send it now.
Yeah, one thing I
was
can vouch.
there.
Sorry to interrupt you, but one thing I can vouch for you is that whenever they needed anything, like a document, it was sent immediately, like right away. Usually people don't do it right away. They're like,
true.
oh, I'll do it when I get home. I'll do it when I have some time. No, she was like, well, what do you need? I need this. Sent.
I love that. I love that. Who are we talking about right now? Who are we talking about? Who was
So Brian and Rachel.
Brian
Yes.
and Rachel. All right. So we're a few minutes into this, and when we have people in the studio, as I shared with you, it's to have fun. That's like you guys are doing business. You did business. My side is fun. Right, so we have a good time. We get to talk, and at no point were we saying, fairway this or fairway that. We're talking about your experience. That's the most important part of it. But now we've naturally kind of worked our way over to this experience, which is the actual experience of getting into it, crossing the finish line, and now we get to bring in some people that aren't sitting here with us, but you can see them on the YouTube channel. So if you look at Fairway Nation, you see some of the past videos. You can get to know Brian Kutu, get to know Rachel Bogue. We call her the Mortgage Gal. So on Instagram, you can check her out. And they just genuinely enjoy helping people. So I'm going to speak for them here. Brian was just affected by the hurricane in North Carolina. So he's actually in Hendersonville, North Carolina. So as a company, we've all rallied together. We've donated over $1 million to Helen and the fund for that relief. So I
Nice.
want you to know he's here with you guys in spirit, but that's why he isn't able to be here today. And Rachel is his kind of right-hand person, like go-to. And they're a big team. They have about 9, 10 plus people on their team overall. And I have to really speak to that. They do everything and anything they can to like educate real estate professionals on how they can, do the right deals, and then to be there for the consumer like every step of the way. I mean, I went to a summit. I apologize to hijack it. I went to a summit about a week ago, and in the summit, IMB Summit in Dallas, Texas, a lot of the biggest companies in the United States are sitting there on stage looking for 18-day clear to close, 30-day clear to close. We're looking for 7-day clear to close. We're looking for 11-day clear to close. Because we hear the stories. I bought a home, and you are at that point where it's like, this is extremely stressful, right? You have people in the fight with you. You have people that are there to help you, but it doesn't make it less stressful, and I appreciate you being authentic and saying that they got a little emotional. There are times when I was going through the process, I got emotional. I think I'm really tough. It's difficult. So thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. Roberto, thank you for also, bringing this this awesome experience here to this table. But yeah, get back to you guys on the experience overall. You're sitting there, you're going through paperwork, you're doing all stuff. You want to get to the finish line, eventually getting to where we are today. Talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just one obstacle after another, with the HELOC, especially, it wasn't.
What is a HELOC?
So HELOC is a home equity line of credit
Yeah.
that you're pulling from your house for the most part.
Yeah.
It's just you're pulling equity out of the house to use towards either paying off debt or putting it towards another investment, whatever you do
Some
with
people
it.
don't know this even exists, right? Some people don't know that they can do
Some
this.
people know they
Yeah,
can do that.
And to
it's a
let
lot
you
cheaper
know-
than refinancing the property as well.
Yeah, and to let you know about this, there's $3 trillion with a T, 3 trillion. I think like our national debt is like around that. Like, so there's 3 trillion in real estate equity out there and available. Credit cards, cars. If you haven't feeling the burden of the times, it's there.
Yep.
Yeah.
People don't know that.
We
No.
need to use it.
Wild. So you tapped into the HELOC. So go ahead on
So
that.
she used the HELOC to put the down payment towards the new purchase, which makes a lot of sense because then she has the free capital to, renovate the house and make it to where she wants it to be.
Do you know a good construction company?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna be playing in the background while they crush it. That's so
Yeah.
good.
But yeah, that presented a problem in itself. But then Rachel and Brian helped us out with that situation, and then we just got it to move forward, and it was just the next step and the next step, and then it felt like something set us back. But then we took another step forward, and then something took us back, and then took another step forward, and then finally it was like the day they're like, "Oh, we're clear to close on the HELOC." We're like, "Fantastic!" And she was
Let's
like,
go.
"Finally!"
And I
so
also
cool.
want to thank them because
Yeah.
they did an incredible job.
That's so cool.
Ryan at the beginning and then Rachel, they were fantastic.
I love that.
I learned with them a lot of things that I didn't know.
That's so nice.
So thank you.
All right.
I really appreciate your help.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to share about the experience that was unique to you guys? I know you guys are going to do more deals in the future. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
You're doing so. You're interested also in investment now as well. So
Yeah.
you've got the property. Why don't you guys talk a little bit about Orlando investment, climate, stuff like that? What were you seeing?
Well, I really like the fact that it's quiet. That in the future, I know that I can rent that property if I want to. I like the idea that 30% of the people live there, but 70% is just, tourists from all over the world. Everybody wants to go there. There's a lot of places to go, also for my kids, even free places. It's not only about Disney.
That's true.
Orlando has a lot of places. This neighborhood is very quiet. I really, really needed that. So,
It's definitely a difference from living in Miami where it's, 100% go, go, go rat race versus
Yes.
where it's a little bit slower in the Orlando area. So it's not so like nerve-wracking. You don't feel so anxious all the time.
You're going to have to circle
Yeah.
back with me. I was sharing a story with you as a UCF night charge on. I'm from South Florida. I talk so fast. Even right now, I'm talking slow. I have to kind of slow it down and enunciate because my normal talking voice is really, really fast. But when I came back from Orlando, I came back from Orlando and I was calling it Orlando. So people who are from Orlando, you'll have to circle back with me in about 6 months to a year and let me know if it's no longer Orlando, if it's now Orlando.
I have a feeling that it's going to be like that.
All right. Well, listen. If you have any questions for Roberto, one more question. I'm not ending until we ask this question. Why don't you just use another realtor? So, you have the realtor that you did for this deal. Why don't you use another realtor
I
for the
would never.
investment?
I know
Why?
Roberto for
Roberto just kicked
Some
me under the
years
table.
ago.
By the way,
I have long legs.
no, it's a valid question. So I want to flesh something out here. I want you guys to kind of listen to this. So you used them for your single family, but you want to do an investment. Why don't you use two different realtors?
No, I trust him with my heart.
Trust, right?
Yeah.
Trust is a big
and
thing.
I was telling you that he's not only selling, I know that he wants to help you.
Roberto, is that true?
He would have sold me the other property. I mean,
Yeah.
why not? And he said no.
Yeah, I have a
not
few
for
people
you.
that can vouch for that. Like I don't. The money is fine. That's great and everything. But I also want to keep that relationship too. I'm not going to put them into something that they're going to resent me later on a year down the road. Because I'm not here to burn bridges. I'm here to help build bridges and connect people and myself. And I've always been taught and have grown up to take care of people. Right. So for me, it's the money's great and everything, but for me, it's just more satisfying to help people.
And that's true.
That is very true.
I know it's true.
And if I don't like a property, I'm going to tell you about it. Believe me. And that people can vouch for that too.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. Always let your conscience be your guide. I hope you enjoyed this. You heard the obstacles. You heard the experience. You heard what it took to cross the finish line in a real estate deal, real world, real life stuff. If you have any questions, please comment below. Feel free to DM anyone that you see here. We'd love to help you out. See ya.